ambe menkila e di fakko amanna jang dorong waya tanjilo ko amanjari moye waya amare barintol ngammel lol la taala adu ko len toñati. This country is bigger than anybody regardless of your position. Itela naja nyinna najang journalist la najang funding ke wala najang wala kumayata title beti way men tandi wala Gambia dingol ilafta Gambia lale ilafta Gambia taru luwa anin tilimo anin toñaka wadamma le kumayata ko ku yaje alors que le Coran ko sura kullu man alayha fan yafama fi njabe bannale abe kasara le wa yabqa wajhu rabbika dhul jalali wal ikram ala damma le man sayabe kanyana adum ala be munekam to nyanto do silole kam. We are more hopeful today that this country, the Gambia, will become a better country based on democracy, human rights, rule of law, peace and progress. And we know that the young people, the thousands of young Gambians who are spiritual and political sons and daughters of Solo Sandeng will carry on this fight and they'll be victorious, inshallah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
That was Sabally.
Because Natalie may solo it is Pareta Laka. It is solo because solo national hero is another one. Capri 2016.
Guys, I'm not going to tell you that because it's not what I'm going to do.
Be good men that what the government but having the peace from the Honey side, the elections act. So I remember Honey side. The popular act na criminal code na loi bunda jama melalo ye mol nyanto e gonfa wala kabandir nya melalo le déplacement ka kilipania zamani anita ko kisi pasa bebe ko ni ka an ñil dem ko dina ko e solo ma wala so ni ko ko men dañi yadon ko ni kala ke dem ni ko wala ni mo ala kala ke dem ko ko sida ke fa so sa jaga sa ko e men
Mr. Jobarteh, are you disappointed with the turnout?
Yes, I'm disappointed with the turnout. And I mentioned for Gambia to any side, Mam Pablo, Mam Pablo, Manda Papokan, can Netiapo, Manda Papola, but Manda Papokan, Naba Yama, Bemania or the people, Gambia Bemania or the
family of Solo Sandeng.
We have lost illustrious son like Sandeng. You know, but it is a day of celebration also because through his life we were able to defeat dictatorship and restore a democracy that we are not satisfied with until now. And it is a day of sadness too because it is a day that manifests betrayal. Solo did not die, did not get up to protest to die, to be given a burial. Solo got up because he wants to salvage the Gambia. He got up to defend human rights, to defend democracy, to defend rule of law. And that was the catalyst that brought us here. Therefore, Solo died for a cause. And so if we get to a day like today, we should have seen by now the ideas for which Solo died manifested in this country, that laws change, that the malpractices in the government stop, that the plunder of public resources stop, that the rule of law is respected, that there are no arbitrary arrests and detention and other forms of violations. But until today, that is taking place, and taking place under the leadership of people who benefited from Solo's protest. So the president, Adama Barrow, and all the coalition leaders, coalition parties, they benefited from Solo, but they all betrayed Solo. From Adama Barrow to Ousseynou Dabo, Khalifa Sallah, to Sidia Jatta, from Mada Tambajang to Assetou Touré, Abaya Fati, Henry Gomez, and so on. All those coalition leaders, they betrayed Solo. And so it's a shame that they all came here to try to show remorse, to try to celebrate Solo, yet failed to implement the ideals, the objectives which made Solo stand up. So they have all betrayed Solo, and that is very sad.
Okay, in fact, are you disappointed? Are you disappointed that the president is not present here?
In one sense, disappointed because he's the head of state. This is a state funeral, and in any nation on earth, a state funeral is led by the head of state. So on that score, I'm disappointed. But I'm not disappointed also because the president is the biggest betrayer, is the first betrayer of the cause that Solo stood up for. So it is good that he did not even come here to pollute the sanctity, the dignity of Solo. So on that score, I'm not disappointed. But yes, by protocol, he should have been here. And there is absolutely no excuse why the president should not be here, because he's in the country. He has not been announced that he is sick. There's no situation in the country, security situation, whatever, no disaster, to claim that the president cannot move to this place, which is a walking distance from the State House to this place. So he doesn't even need a vehicle. He could have walked to this place. So this, what it indicates is the president's gross negligence of duty. He has failed Solo. He has failed the Gambian people for failing to come here. And I think the National Assembly and the Gambian people must hold him accountable for failing to appear at a state funeral.
Well, what does it mean for the legacy of Solo Sandeng, the things he died for, such as electoral reforms and others, are yet to be realized?
Yes, so that is the betrayal that all the coalition political parties and leaders committed against Solo Sandeng. His legacy, his sacrifice, his ideal, his objective remains sacrosanct, remains a decent national objective that will always stand the test of time. It is we, and particularly these leaders who are in charge of our institutions of governance, who have failed Solo Sandeng and the Gambian people by failing to bring the reforms that Solo asked for and died for. Solo did not ask for a state funeral. That wasn't his objective. His objective is a free, democratic Gambia.
What needs to be done in order for his legacy to be honored?
For people to be honest, particularly the president and the executive, the legislature, and the political parties, particularly those that came to form the coalition in the wake of his protest, who benefited from his death. Because it is thanks to Solo Sandeng, all of them got into power. They were members in the executive, they were members in the legislature, they had the power, the means, the resources to bring about legal and institutional reforms, and they failed to do so. So Solo's legacy remains constant, unshakable.
Madi, like you said, the president failed to come here at a state funeral, something as important as this. What would you tell him? Do you think he should apologize?
The president should apologize, whether that anybody cares about that, but he needs to apologize, but not just apologize, he needs to be held accountable. I think the National Assembly and the Gambian citizens need to call the president to hold him to account, to answer as to why he would fail, he would refuse to come and honor a national hero, to come and honor and even a personality that was the result of the end of dictatorship in this country. That is gross negligence of duty, gross act of irresponsibility on his part as a person and as a president. Because each and every Gambian from Banjul to Basse has a duty, a moral duty to be here. It is so disappointing that Gambians refuse to come here. Each and every Gambian has a duty to come here, more so those that we have elected and appointed in government. They have a moral and legal obligation. The president has a legal and moral obligation for coming here. So he has violated his legal and political obligations to the Gambian people, and he needs to be held accountable for that.
Okay, please, this question. How did Solo's death play a role in the fall of Yahya Jammeh?
Yes, because Solo's death, the protest of April 14, we saw what happened, the mass arrest of him and his compatriots, and leading to his death, which culminated in the UDP leadership 2 days later to get up to demand his body, dead or alive, and all of them again harangued and beaten up and then arrested and then eventually jailed, all culminated into raising more fire, more fuel, giving Gambians more courage, removing that sense of fear out of Gambians to say never again started there. That no more, we are not going to be afraid anymore. We are going to stand up to liberate ourselves, to salvage ourselves. And so Solo's death was really that catalyst that led to the creation of that coalition that all Gambians rallied behind, voted into office until we are here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's all we have for you here. Hello, Nick. Thank you so much. That's all we have for you here. It was official funeral and tribute service to Ibrahim Solo Sandeng here in the Arch in Banjul. Now people are going towards Dipakunda for the burial.